First speaker, Amara Satar.
Amara Satar, if you press *6, you can proceed. Amara Satar, Satar, S-A-T-T-A-R. Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Hi. So first, I do want to express gratitude to Houston EMS at this meeting. Thank you for all you do. At this meeting, I wanted to express concern for how Houston animal shelters are currently being run and the lack of transparency. Shelters receiving government funding should be publishing regular reports for the public to view. Houston as a community is full of people who are willing to donate time and money to making our shelters more humane. If other cities have done it, we can do it too.
Okay, is that it? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Doug Smith. Rivera. Estilia Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, if you're on the line, you can push *6 to unmute. Okay.
There she is, but she hasn't unmuted.
Estilia Rivera?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I'm here to address bark. So I'm here today to express my concern about bark through my own personal experience with them and how it has been not so pleasant journey or joyful experience being a foster parent. From the moment you drive through the gates into the facility, majority of the security staff treat you with attitude. They do not like to help or even enjoy dealing with people. Once you are able to talk to a bark staff member on the phone, you are met with lack of information and confusion. None of the employees show any effort or care in their job. The example of the lack of care or effort is the kill list. The bark employees decide to post it last minute. Most of the time it's posted the day of. 12 hours is not enough time for us dog lovers to find a home to save these innocent dogs before their death. The dogs on these lists should not even be considered to be put down. They do not have behavioral problems or medical problems. I have fostered 4 dogs that were saved from the list within the last year. My last dog was rescued there, has been with us for 8 months. Throughout the 8 months, we have not even received one single call from Bark. No one called to check up on her or even informed us that we needed to bring her in for a checkup. On top of that, Bark has put zero effort into their social media page or any other form of advertisement. How do you expect people to know that you have loving dogs waiting for a home if no one posts about them or even spreads the word? We decided after the long 8 months and the passing of our other foster dogs to finally adopt her. We called Bark about adopting and filing the paperwork. It has been over a week and we still haven't heard anything about adopting her. And that's my take.
Mr. Rivera, thank you for calling and sharing your experiences, and let me apologize if your experience at Bark has been less than pleasant. We will definitely be able to take your concerns back to the organization, and we are definitely going to expect some improvements. We do have a council member in the queue to address your concerns. Councilmember Travis?
Yes, Mr. Rivera, thank you very much for coming today. Let me ask you a question on this. Do you think that your experiences are unique, or have you shared your experiences with others and found those to be shared in the community itself?
They're very much shared. Just the other week, Milo, a dog that was killed because of the long weekend, a lady called and asked to pick up Milo the day of, and Bark never called her back, and they decided to kill Milo even though they had a home for him.
So, Mr. Rivera, if we made you director of Bark, what would be the first thing that you would do?
I would open up the doors to the facility to the public so that anyone can come and meet the dogs, because it's still closed to adopted parents to meet the dogs. That's the first and foremost thing.
Really? I didn't know that. It's closed. It's closed to the public?
Yes, you're not allowed to go in and meet any dogs.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a pretty big first. What's the second thing you would do?
The second thing I would do is I want to kill dogs when your shelter isn't full at capacity, especially when the dogs don't have behavioral problems.
Could you do me a favor? Could you send me a policy you think would be appropriate for the kill list issue?
Okay. Do you have an email for that?
I do. You can send it to greg.travis@houstontx.gov.
All right.
And I will pass that along to make sure it gets eyes on it.
All right. I will send you that email.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Thank you.
Next speaker,
Pierce Casella,
Same household.
Pierce Casella. Is Pierce Casella on the line? Okay, Madam Secretary, let's go to the next speaker.
Jennifer Smith,
Jennifer Smith, if you can push *6 to unmute. Jennifer Smith. Madam Secretary, we'll go to the next speaker.
Rose Smith,
Hi.
Yes.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and council members. I'm a local concerned citizen, and I'm concerned because bark is killing animals that have viable options.
I'm sorry.
Oftentimes, citizens
Can you
or a
tell,
rescue group. I'm sorry, go ahead.
can you tell me your name?
Rose Smith.
Rose Smith. Thank you, Ms. Smith. I apologize. Go ahead.
So I'm concerned because bark is killing animals that have viable options. Oftentimes, a rescue group or private citizen is actively trying to save the life and assume all costs and liability, yet bark kills them anyway. It happens frequently, it makes no sense, and it's unacceptable. I tried to adopt a dog from bark, ID number A1664998, a 3-year-old English coonhound named Lux. He was killed for no justifiable reason. I was ready to pick him up when I was informed he allegedly air snapped, so he was killed. The dog was healthy and friendly. In Bark's own video, he was gently taking treats from a staff member's hand. His body language was friendly, and he had a private home to live in, my home. The city of Houston had no further business with him. I was willing to assume all liability for this very low-risk dog. Y'all, I believe in euthanasia. A few years ago, I had to make that decision for my dog. It was the right thing to do. He was hopelessly sick and he was suffering. I understand shelters have to euthanize some animals because of illness or the rare case of uncorrectable aggression. Luck was not sick, Luck was not aggressive, and Luck was not hopelessly. Myself and 2 other local families opened our homes to him. Even more alarming, Luck's case is not isolated. Killing healthy, friendly animals who have viable options, this is a regular occurrence at Bark. It's thoroughly unacceptable, and people from all over the country and world, as a matter of fact, are outraged. Euthanizing hopelessly sick or behaviorally uncorrectable animals, that's one thing. But to kill healthy, well-adjusted animals when they have viable options that are free to the city of Houston, this is outrageous. It's unacceptable, and we want change. Please, use your authority and stop Bark's management from killing when it's unnecessary and then calling it euthanasia. In recent news, Bark's director expressed concern about the general public trying to tell Bark's veterinarian what to do. Frankly, it seems Bark's vet is making such unreasonable, bizarre decisions that it's catching attention from all over the map. Please, let the community know how we can work with Bark to achieve their own mission statement, the exact opposite of their current practices. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your comments, Ms. Smith. Councilmember Travis?
Yes, Ms. Smith, how much experience have you had with Bark? You just talked about your one experience. Have there been other experiences?
Yes, I interact with advocates and rescue groups daily online.
All right, and then since you do this on a regular basis, what is your, I guess, your overall experience with Bark, and what would you suggest be done differently?
My overall experience is very poor, and I would suggest better communication with the rescue groups and with the community. There are many resources and many concerned people that want to help. There's a disconnect somewhere.
How do you find out about these, Ms. Smith, how do you find out about these dogs that are up for adoption? Is there a website? And how do you find out about the kill list?
Through a Facebook group, usually Urgent Shelter Pets Houston or Shelter Pet Heroes, a couple different Facebook groups. They get the list at just about the last minute and post it on Facebook, and then advocates or concerned citizens try to help.
So Bark doesn't put this out on social media?
No, not that I know of, no.
Okay, and what about the adoption? I mean, if I want to go adopt a dog at Bark, which I did a couple of years ago, by the way, Chloe, and she was actually being walked into the euthanasia room when I rescued her. But if I were to go find one today, is there a website that I can go to from Bark that would show me all the dogs and cats that are up for adoption?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Alcorn.
Thank you. I do understand that Bark has an Urgent Pets webpage. I've been given some information about that with their length of stay and code orange. Are you familiar with that, ma'am? I think it looks like it's HoustonTX.gov/bark/urgent/pets, but I was going to ask if you knew about that website, and then about the timing, like when you hear about a dog on the euthanasia list, how much time then do you have? Regardless of whether you looked at this website or another website, how much time do you have for somebody to agree to try to rescue that dog?
Usually by noon or 1 p.m. As far as I know, the advocates get the list the night before and have until the next business day at around noon or 1.
Okay, thank you.
So very little time, basically the business day morning.
So what website are you looking at to find out about those animals?
Houston Shelter Pets in Need, I believe, through Facebook.
Okay, so there is, and I think it's fairly new that Bark has created one. Again, HoustonTX.gov/bark/urgent-pets.html. It tells you about length of stay. It tells you about whether it's a code orange, which would mean a high risk, or code red, which is the euthanasia list. And then it's going to also include additional reports such as current foster pets, orphan babies, possum pals, which are like the staff favorites, and that'll be coming, and that'll be added in coming weeks. So sounds like Bark is trying to get their social media game or the webpage game up, so some of these issues can be addressed.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you for adding that information, Councilmember Alcorn. I know that we do have quite a few speakers on the list to talk about Bark. We have received a memo that says that Bark will immediately allow rescues, fosters, and adopters to tag, adopt, or place a hold on an animal until 1 p.m. each day. At 1 p.m., any pet on the euthanasia list that has not received a rescue tag, adoption, or hold request will be approved for euthanasia. Bark has granted more than 15 animal extensions since May 27th, so the extensions are available. So if people are looking to foster or wanting to help, please contact Bark for the extensions. And then they have also, as Councilmember Alcorn stated, created a new Urgent Pets webpage. And so I know that there are lots of concerns, but we can always improve on our best. And so I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. So we appreciate all of the callers who are calling and expressing their concerns to help us to improve our operations at Bark. Madam Secretary, if you'll call the next.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem, can I ask a question of you?
Sure.
Are they also going to be opening up Bark so that people can come in and look, or are they only going to be able to look at them online? In other words, and I say this because as an animal rescuer myself, it's always good to be able to see the animal and see if you have rapport with that animal. And it's not the same as being online. It's better if they can actually come visit and spend some time with that animal to make that decision.
So I'm not sure, but I will ask, and if we get an answer before the meeting, I'll let you know what the response is, but I appreciate the question, and I'll try to get an answer for you.
All right, thank you.
Park is open and does not require appointments to adopt. Okay, so the response we received was Bark is open and does not require an appointment to adopt. So it seems like there may be a little communication problem. So the response we just received from ARA is that Bark is open and there are no appointments required to adopt.
Okay, and I would like to ask all the people who are coming before us today if that's the case, because many times I've been told one thing and then the experiences of the rescuers, the fosters, is a little different. So that's fine. I'm glad to hear that's the policy. We just want to make sure that's actually occurring. Thank you.
Most definitely. Madam Speaker, if you'll call the next speaker. Madam Secretary, if you'll call the next speaker.
Deja Land.
Deja Land. Deja Land, if you're on the line, you can push *6 to unmute. Okay, we'll go to the next speaker.
Lisa Wood.
Lisa Wood, if you're on the line, *6.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lisa Wood. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I'm an advocate for the Animal Justice League of America. I'm just probably going to reiterate the same things that Rose Smith was talking about, the Bark shelter. The concerns about the dogs being killed for no reason. Some of them have had rescue, but they are still being killed. The dogs had enough time, as she had spoken about. There are concerns about volunteers not being treated fairly at the shelter by the director. I've heard some concerns about that. And there were some concerns about volunteers being let go during COVID time. So those are some of the issues that I had to speak about.
Ms. Wood, thank you very much for your comments. Councilmember Travis, I did want to circle back. I received a response that as of April 20th, Bark is open for potential rescuers and adopters and fosters to come in and look.
Good, thank you.
And did you want to make a comment?
I have a question for Ms. Wood. Ms. Wood, you said that
Yes.
you're from Dayton, Ohio. What is your connection with Bark? Have you been to Bark, and do you have direct knowledge and firsthand experience?
No, I also go online like Rose Smith and do cross-posting for listings for Bark animals. I see comments on the posts, and I also I get comments from people on Messenger about what's going on. I'm just by comments, and then I do see when dogs get killed for really basically no reason, or if they have rescue. So that's how I'm having my contact. I have not been to the shelter personally, obviously, because I'm in Ohio.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your care and concern, and you're right. On social media, it's out there quite a bit. But thank you very much for your comments.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Secretary, we'll go to the next speaker.
Simone Maynard.
Simone Maynard. Next speaker.
Eileen Becker.
Eileen Becker, if you're on the line, you can push *6 to unmute. Eileen Becker?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Eileen Becker and I'm from Arizona. Thank you for allowing me to be a voice for the Bark Shelter animals. Sadly, many are never networked and they are euthanized. Others are not allowed enough time to be networked and they are euthanized when they could be placed in rescues and loving homes that they deserve. We need more time to network these animals. We as advocates, we network endless hours to save these precious animals, and it's sinful in our country. You know, they deserve better than the treatment that they're getting even from the shelters, especially when they're being euthanized. You know, the treatment is horrendous. They're traumatized. It's just really sad. We fight for no-kill shelters. It's really horrendous. I'm not the best speaker. I'm doing the best I can. I apologize. They just deserve better. We would love to see new management at the shelters. We would love to see better laws to protect the stray animals, the killing that's out there, the shootings of these innocent animals just because they feel they could get away with it. It's terrible. In the shelters, the volunteers are treated very poorly. They're disrespected. We go to network these animals. Like Rosemary Smith said, there's no networking time. The networking time, when we see it, I mean, they're put down within hours. We don't even have like a day to network. There's rescues out there. Even if we have a rescue, we're finding, for instance, there were 3 kittens. The rescue even stated they're on their way to pick them up. The shelter was inconsiderate, didn't care, knowing that the rescue, they even emailed the rescue, they were on their way to pick them up, the shelter killed them. These animals are at their mercy. They're heartless, they don't care. These animals are being murdered. Innocent animals, even when they have rescues on their way, these animals are being murdered. They deserve better than the treatment that they're getting. It's disgraceful. We need to make changes. We're hoping you could help. You know, they deserve better than this. So many hundreds and thousands of animals are being murdered. We need change. I thank you for your time.
Ms. Becker, thank you so much. Thank you for your comments today. Councilmember Travis?
Yes, thank you. Again, thank you, Ms. Becker, for your care and your concern for the animals. Hopefully this will shine some light on it over here in Houston, Texas. I noticed you're in Florence, Arizona. I used to fly out of Williams Air Force Base in Gilbert, Arizona, so I probably flew over your house a little bit. But I'm wondering if you've ever visited BARC or if you visited Houston, and do you have firsthand acknowledge of this?
No.
All right. Thank you very much for your concern.
May I just say one thing? You were talking about if BARC has their own, like, network page. As you were talking, I even went on because I find it confusing. I network all over the country as an advocate. I even went on as you were looking at it. It's very difficult sometimes to navigate, and when you go to put in BARC shelter, it comes up under Houston. Like, they don't really have their own networking. It's kind of connected with Houston shelter.
Well, I will tell you this, I agree with you on that, but I also say is I have been told by people in the administration high up that they are working on that, and they are aware of that issue. And it's going to take some time, but we hope to see some improvements by this fall. I know it should have been done a long time ago, but, you know, it's better late than never in this case. But I think you're exactly right on that. We could do a lot better job. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, and these animals do need more networking time, more than 12 hours, 2 days. I mean, because innocent, you know, animals, that healthy animals, they deserve more time to be networked.
Yes.
Especially if they're going to be euthanized, they not dragged to their death. They need compassion. You know, they're terrified, they're traumatized. Just even if they're going to murder them, have compassion. Hopefully we could stop this.
Thank you for your comments. As I just got my phone and put in Bark, and it took me directly to the City of Houston's webpage, to the Bark Animal Shelter and Adoptions page. It seems fairly simple to navigate from my phone. So I do want to comment that we have made some improvements to the site and to being able to get more information about Bark directly. So hopefully the improvements we've made will make it easier for people to navigate and gain more information about Bark. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
No problem. Next speaker.
Anika Zaman.
Anika Zaman. Anika Zaman, if you're there, you can push *6 to unmute. Okay, Madam Secretary, we'll go to the next speaker.
Catherine Lee.
Catherine Lee. Next speaker.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem, Miss Anika Zaman should be back on the line. Miss Anika Zaman. She
Okay.
got disconnected.
Anika Zaman. Miss Anika Zaman.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. So hi, I'm Anika Zaman. Despite being a lifelong Houstonian, I only recently got involved with cat rescue around 4 months ago, and it's been like jumping into a completely new world. Rescue work is difficult and lonely, as well as mentally, financially, and physically draining, especially in Houston, where we have one of the worst homeless cat populations in the nation, and no regulations requiring pets to be fixed. Every day, we are scrambling to save cats and dogs from Barks and other shelters' euthanasia list. Every day, we scramble to save kitties who have been hit by cars, who are severely sick or injured, and kitties who have been abused or literally thrown away to die by people who claim they are trying to control the cat population in their area. Every day, I see fellow rescuers get burnt out from dealing with these constant horrors. Through my own experience with cat rescue and countless conversations with many fellow rescuers who have been doing cat rescue longer than I have been alive, I have found that the root cause of the issue here is that there's absolutely no public awareness of why people need to spay and neuter their own pets, as well as the community stray cats in their neighborhoods. And also, there is absolutely no public awareness on the resources the City of Houston provides to enable people to fix their own pets and community cats. According to Texas Litter Control, cats are territorial animals. If you remove a cat, more cats will show up as long as a food source is available. It is what is known as the vacuum effect. The only thing that will lower the number of stray cats in a region is to fix them and put them back to their outdoor homes. The fixed cats keep the unfixed cats out of the territory. I can guarantee you that most people in Houston do not know that trap, neuter, release, or TNR, is the best thing they could do to control the stray cat population in their area. Not euthanize, not kill or throw away unwanted kittens on the side of a busy road or in a dumpster. It is the City of Houston's responsibility to raise awareness on this. There should be billboards, there should be ads on TV, radio, newspapers, online, from Bark. People need to be made more aware. Houston has some amazing incentives like community cats, which helps individuals become feral cat colony managers and get vouchers to TNR the cats in their area. Houston also has an amazing program called Healthy Pets, Healthy Streets that lets residents of Houston get their pets fixed, vaccinated, and microchipped for free. Unfortunately, I had to dig deep to learn about these programs, and I guarantee you the average Houstonian and the majority of Houstonians have never heard of these programs. There are absolutely no campaigns, not a single billboard or active effort to make these programs more known and accessible to people. People need to be made more aware of the solutions that are out there for them through Bark. My cat rescuer peers from other cities have come to know Houston as a prime example of a dangerous city for homeless cats and dogs and an active breeding ground. How we treat our vulnerable populations, such as animals, is a direct reflection of us as a city, and currently our reflection is really not looking good. Thank you.
Councilmember Travis.
Thank you. Ms. Zaman, I was actually quite impressed with everything you said. A lot of people come before us with problems but never solutions. and you seem to have some of those solutions in hand. I just want to thank you for that, and I wanted to know if there was anything else you wanted to add in the way of that.
No, I just think there really should be more awareness in general in the public, and if there's a task force that could be made, a volunteer group through the city of Houston, then I would be very happy to get involved, and I know many other rescuers who would be happy to do so as well. But I think it should come from the city level.
Yeah, I think I got to, the public awareness, I think, is the premise of what you're saying today, is that there's a lot of things that are happening and nobody's really aware of them because it's hard to find. You said, I think your quote was, you had to dig deep. I was wondering if, that I'm under the understanding that a lot of this is being fixed now. I mean, I realize that it's a little bit too late, but it's never too late. And I'm hoping that it gets fixed, and it seems like it is. But I also understand the frustration for people like yourself who've been out there for all these years and working with the system, and knowing that there's some good things that are happening, and some people just don't know how to access that. If you have, and I know we're only on here for a little bit today, but if you have other concerns or any other solutions to those issues, if you don't mind sending those to me, I'd be happy to look them over and forward them on.
Yeah, that'll be great. Is there a contact information I can send it to?
Sure, send it directly to me. It's greg.travis@houstontx.gov.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
The next speaker is Sharian Joshua.
Sharian Joshua.